Start with a review of the first couple of days of this week. We started in class on Monday and Tuesday looking at nutrition in the athlete. The question was, how many calories do athletes need to consume in a day? And then if you'll remember, we talked about, well, size does matter. The sport that you are participating in matters as well. What your training routine is going to affect how many calories that you need in a day. The next one, well, we had some pictures of different female athletes and different body shapes, body sizes, and how that their performance is different according to their body shape. Talk about definition of nutrition being the process by which living organisms assimilate or take in food and use for growth and development, replacement of tissue. Nutrition is the science, the field or science that studies that deals with food and nourishment. Proper nutrition can reduce the likelihood of injuries. That's why we're talking about this. We feel it's 1/3 of the pieces of the puzzle to the athlete. We have genetics being one piece, training routine being one, and nutrition being the third piece of the puzzle. Here's that graphic. We'll skip through some of these. We talked about the macronutrients, carbohydrates, protein, and fat, and how much of each of those we will talk about here as we go through. The 6 essential nutrients, carbohydrates was our first one. We looked at how many carbohydrates you may need. So we have simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. The last thing on carbohydrates, you need 6 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body mass. So just using myself as an example, 130 pounds, so I have to divide 130 pounds. So I want you to do this with your weight. So take your weight in pounds. So I'm taking 130. I'm dividing it by 2.2, and that's going to tell me how many kilograms I weigh. So divided by 2.2 equals 59.09. So I have 59 on here. I weigh 59 kilograms. So in order to take kilograms, we want 6 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body mass. So I'm going to take 59 times 6. 9 times 6 equals, actually that should be 354, it looks like. And then 59 times 10, 59 times 10, well, we know that's 590. So I need 350 to 590 as kind of a range of carbohydrates in my diet. I need you to figure this out for your athlete or for you. So choose one of those and do that math. Some examples, bananas are good. They're ideal. Rapid refueling comes in its own biodegradable wrapper. You can put that in your bag. Choose yellow-brown fruit for quick energy burst. Oatmeal consists of unprocessed oats and nothing else. Make with skim or low-fat milk to increase your protein. It also has fiber, which provides slow-release energy. It keeps you full longer. Use that energy over a period of time. Cereal or protein bars. There's a wide variety of cereal protein bars. Some of them have lots of sugar in them and are really no better than a candy bar. And some don't have that much sugar and are much better for you. They're easy to pack. They're generally healthy. They have a long shelf life, so you can leave it in your bag for a while. However, they're not all equal. Some have much more fat and sugar than others. So read your labels. Brain break. I want you to think about, do you eat white bread, wheat bread, or 100% whole wheat bread at your house? And why? A why is probably what your parents purchased for you. Protein is our next one of the 6 essential nutrients that we're going to talk about. Proteins are one of the 6 essential nutrients that contains nitrogen to help with the body grow, build, and repair cells. So you guys know when you're lifting weights, you're breaking your muscles down while you're in the weight room, and then you have to consume that protein in your diet in order to rebuild those muscles or repair the tissues that are being broken down while you are lifting weights. Your body's main structural elements come from protein. They're found in every cell and every tissue in the body is protein. Athletes' protein needs. So again, you need your calculator. Get your calculator out. We want you to eat around 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So my example again, I'm taking 130 and divided by 2.2, and then I weigh 59 kilograms. So I'm going to take 59 times 1.2 to equal 71 grams of protein that I need to consume in a day. That's on the low end. On the high end would be that 59 times 1.4, which is going to be 82. So Coach Sorens, if I was an athlete that was training, I need between 71 and 82 grams of protein each day. I need you to do that for your athlete that you are using in your presentation. You may also do this for yourself. Myth or fact, protein is the best food for athletes and you should consume as much as possible. There is a limit. Too much of anything is not going to be a good thing. So you being in this range that we just talked about right here, this is where you need to be. I don't need 100 grams of protein. It's not going to be better than me eating within my range between 70 and 80 grams of protein. Too much protein. Consuming too high or too much protein can cause dehydration and can cause liver damage. It's been proven that it also doesn't provide any additional benefits to performance if you're consuming more than what you need of protein in your diet. Problems can happen with too much protein in your diet. It can cause too low in carbohydrates for the working athlete. It can be too high in saturated fat, a type of fat that may put athletes at risk for developing heart disease later in life. It may provide inadequate amounts of many proteins and minerals. It's low in fiber because your fibers are coming from those carbohydrates, not from your proteins. Increased risk of gout due to the potential raise in uric acid levels, and an increased risk of dehydration are all potential things that could happen if you're eating a diet that is too high in protein. Some examples, we want lean meat and fish that are high in protein by avoiding the fatty cuts of meat and concentrating on the skinless, low-fat varieties. Or alternatively fish, you'll be providing your body with the necessary building blocks for repair. So that protein, those high protein foods. Try to include protein with each meal and focus on animal types over vegetable proteins because animal proteins are complete. There's two types of protein. We have complete and incomplete. Complete protein comes from animals. Incomplete protein comes from those plant-based. Protein in food. There's just some examples. One egg would have 6 grams of protein, just give you an idea of where we're at. Ground beef, 3 ounces would be 21 grams of protein, so that's pretty good. And one chicken breast that is 3 ounces would be 29 grams of protein. Tuna, 25 grams of protein. Milk, lentils, peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 8 grams of protein. So just some examples of high protein foods that you could put in your athlete's diet. Fat is the next one of these 6 essential nutrients. Dietary fat, a nutrient that is a source of energy. This source of energy, it insulates the body tissues and it also helps transport vitamins around the body. Carry of fat-soluble vitamins. So our fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. You will need to know that. Those are the only 4. A, D, E, K are fat-soluble vitamins. All other vitamins are water-soluble, so you have to consume them every day. Vitamins A, D, E, and K, if you consume more one day, we can store them in our fat cells for use when we need them. We cannot do that, for example, with vitamin C. Provides certain essential fatty acids, important source of energy. Your diet for an athlete, 20 to 35% of your diet should come from fats. There's some different types of fats there. Take a guess, which food has more fat? Whole milk or 2% milk? Whole milk or 2% milk? Butter or margarine? Mayonnaise or mustard? Let's see. All right, so the whole milk is going to have more fat. You're going to get the same amount of calcium. Butter or margarine? I'd have to look that one up if butter or margarine has higher fat content. I'll do that and get back to you. And the last one is mayonnaise or mustard. Mayonnaise does have quite a bit of fat in it. Mustard does not have fat. Fat. Fats and oils provide a concentrated source of energy for the body, along with vitamins and essential fatty acids. During exercise, fat is used as fuel along with carbohydrates and a small amount of protein. Taking in 20 to 35% of your calories from fat is recommended for most athletes. Athletes looking to gain weight should take in about 30%. So when wanting to gain mass or gain weight, we don't want to just up our fat content so high that we're gaining that fat mass. We want to gain lean mass. For many athletes, moderate fat intake can actually enhance performance as additional calories are able to support the training. And that's what we talked about, the relative energy deficiency syndrome, which we'll talk about later in class as well. But when there's that discrepancy between what an athlete needs from what their training routine is and what they're consuming. If the number of fat calories is more than 30% of your total calories, that's going to be a high-fat diet, not something that athletes should be partaking in. We do not need a high-fat diet. Vitamins is the next of six essential nutrients. Vitamins are complex organic substances that the body needs in small amounts. Remember the 6 essential nutrients? They're essential. We have to consume them through the food that we eat. We have fat-soluble vitamins and we have water-soluble vitamins. A, D, E, and K, like talked about when we're talking about fat, how A, D, E, and K vitamins are stored in fat cells. And then all others are water-soluble, like all of your B vitamins and your C vitamins, vitamin C, are water-soluble. You have to replenish them every day. You can't consume 1,000% your daily needs of vitamin C one day and then you not get sick because your body can use it for the future weeks. You need to consume 100% your daily needs of vitamin C every day because it's water-soluble. If we have extra, we just pee it out. Minerals. Minerals are inorganic substances, whereas vitamins are organic substances made from plants and animals. Minerals, being inorganic, that come from the soil and water and are absorbed by plants or eaten by animals. Minerals are necessary for proper growth and development of health. Some examples of minerals before we move on. Iron, zinc, just be some examples of minerals that we need in our diet. Water, I believe, is the sixth and final one of the 6 essential nutrients. Water is most important, often neglected nutrient. We have to have water. Our body is made of a lot of water that we have to replenish. Your kidneys play an important role in conserving and excreting water. Water helps regulate body temperatures. Water transports nutrients around the body. It helps eliminate the toxins from the body. On average, the body will lose approximately 7 glasses of water each day. You probably heard you need 8-ounce glasses, so 64 ounces of water every day on average. If you're an athlete and if you're training, you're sweating, you need more than that. To maintain proper hydration, drink at least 8 glasses of fluid each day and more if you're active. Do some people sweat more than others? Yes. If we were in class, I'd have you raise your hand. You know if you're a sweater. Some people are just going to cool themselves off more easily than others. And you will need to drink more water. Sports drinks. Sports drinks contain quite a bit of sugar. They do have some minerals like potassium and sodium that is helpful more so than water, but the amount of sugar in them is not something that we need on a regular basis. Sports drinks can help with long, hard workouts that exceed more than 1 hour. Advantages come from their sugar content, allowing the muscle to gain energy and to delay fatigue. They are not necessary for most activities or most of our athletes. Hydration for peak performance. Don't rely on your sense of thirst. Once you are thirsty, it's already too late. You're already dehydrated if you are feeling thirsty. Also, be sure to avoid caffeine. Caffeine dehydrates. So one of the reasons if you're drinking drinks that are high in caffeine, maybe it's an energy drink. Dehydration is a side effect of a high caffeinated beverage. Active teens and adults need 9 to as much as 15 cups of fluid every day. Fluid recommendations, 16 ounces 2 hours before the event. So you're going to start loading a little bit before your event, a couple hours before. Then 8 ounces, 15 minutes. So this is during your pregame warm-up. You need to drink at least 8 ounces. And then 4 ounces to 8 ounces every 15 minutes while you're playing if you can. So at practice, you have water breaks probably. During games, you probably are not able to get 8 ounces every 15 minutes. 3 cups for each pound lost. So you need to consume 3 cups of water for every pound that you lose. So if it is 2-a-days and you are out on the soccer field in August and you're practicing for a couple of hours and you weigh yourself before practice, you weigh yourself after, and let's say you lost 5 pounds, you need to consume 15 cups of water just to replenish where you were at before that practice started. Fluid options, water being the best when we talked about sports drinks. We talked about the pros and cons of sports drinks. Soft drinks contain as much as 10% carbohydrates, best to avoid them. Fruit juices, avoid during exercise as well. Energy gels is another option if you're on a marathon or a really long bike ride or triathlon. These energy gels might be useful. All right, I'm checking your notes here. See where we're at. We've done minerals, sports drinks, fluid and hydration, a prescription for that. I think we will start talking about fiber on part 3 of our notes here. I will see you in class.